If you are suffering from diabetes, so making some changes in the rice what we use, the way we use the rice, we can still control the diabetes. So rice, so many people say that if you eat rice, your sugar level will increase because it is just a carbohydrate. If you are suffering from diabetes, then your sugar level will hike, and if you are not suffering from diabetes, then you may get diabetes. That's what the fear being created among the people. So it's a myth. So what is this rice? Rice is nothing but a 80% carbohydrate. So among this 80% carbohydrate, 70% of this carbohydrate is nothing but a starch. So other than this starch, rice will be having the protein, that is 6 to 8% of a protein. So along with the protein, so little bit, so tracer elements of minerals, vitamins as well as fiber will be there. The rice will be having 70%, 70 to 80% starch, that is the glucose. So because it is the most essential nutrient that what we need as a source of energy. So in case of a diabetic or a non-diabetic, people keep telling that you are supposed to eat red rice instead of white rice. Is it helpful? So definitely red rice helps because it contains, along with the carbohydrate, it contains the fiber. Fiber amount will be little bit more in the red rice compared to the white rice, because white rice, it is nothing but a completely polished rice. So instead of going for a red rice, so instead of paying more for a red rice, so you can reduce the quantity of white rice. You can eat white rice, but you can reduce the quantity of white rice and you can add the fiber to it. So where we will get the fiber? We will get the fiber in the vegetables. So reduce, instead of going for the red rice, if it is available, you can afford, then you can use it. But otherwise, if you are using a white rice, then reduce the quantity of white rice and add more vegetables to your rice, then it will get compensated. So if you are suffering from diabetes, then don't go in search of red rice. Instead of that, again, in cooking procedure also, we can reduce the carbohydrate, that is the glucose level, or we can control the diabetes. How? So first thing is, soak the rice in water for about 20 to 30 minutes. So after soaking the rice, then clean it for about 3 to 4 times. So by doing this, that is soaking for about 20 to 30 minutes and cleaning it in, rinsing it in water for about 3 to 4 times. This, by doing this, certain amount of starch which is there on the outer layer of the rice will seep into the water. So the amount of starch will get reduced. Second thing is, can boil. So while boiling the rice, can add more water. So boil the rice with excess of water, and after boiling, drain this excess of water. So once you boil this rice with more water, excess of water, so again some amount of starch which is there within the rice will seep into the water. So once you drain it out, some amount of starch will get reduced. Third thing is, after cooking, once you cook the rice, cooked rice, so cool, allow it to cool, then keep it in the refrigerator for about 2 hours. So what is the use of doing this? So when we cool this rice, so the starch molecule which is there within the rice gets rearranged. So when it gets rearranged, it results in a resistant starch. The absorption of this resistant starch will be slow. So again, the diabetes, the glucose level gets controlled. So mainly, you can do these 3 things, that is the soaking water and cleaning it. Second thing is boiling and with excess of water and removing this excess of, draining out this excess of water. And again, third thing is cooling the rice and keeping it in refrigerator for about 2 hours. If possible, you can do it. Otherwise, need not worry, need not bother about all these things. You can reduce the quantity of rice what you consume. So along with reducing the quantity of rice, you are supposed to add more fiber, that is more vegetables. Less rice and more vegetables will have the equal effect. Instead of doing all these things, you can, if it is possible, you can do. Otherwise, instead of going for all these things, you can just add more vegetables and reduce the quantity of rice. So like if you are cooking a pulao, then add 50% of pulao must be having the vegetables and 50% should be the rice. if you are a non-diabetic, if you don't have diabetes, then what to do? So need not bother about what type of rice you eat, whether it's a red rice or white rice, doesn't matter. But still, to avoid getting the diabetes, you can reduce the quantity of rice, whatever you eat, and add more vegetables to your food. If you want a precise and scientific information about health, then only you subscribe to our channel. Namaste.